Alright, so today we have this John Deere JD 400, and it's about a 69 or 70 model. We picked it up fairly cheap, and the engine will run, but we're going to go ahead, and it's sat for a long time, so we figure we'll go all through it and work through the hydraulics definitely, but today we're going to mess with the engine a bit, determine if the engine's cracked and it's even worth messing with. So first thing we're going to do here is drain the oil. Now it's sat for a long time, so we're going to drain the oil, fill the crankcase with some lacquered gas to break up all the sludge at the bottom, let that sit for maybe 10, 20, 30 minutes, and then we're going to dump that and then put some old oil in it and run it for a little bit and then drain that, and then we should be good to fill it with some decent oil if everything's checking out. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get moving here. That's definitely got some gasoline and some water in it. I have to do something here. Hell of a mess now. Like slurry. Yeah. Told you it wasn't good. Nope, it's water. But it has a good oil film to it, like in my finger here. So, I mean, at least it hasn't toasted the bearings. But it ain't ideal. And that's why... As bad as it gets. Yeah, and that's how you get stuff for a good deal. Alright, so now we got some lacquered gasoline that we got free from a guy off of Craigslist, if you can believe that or not. Someone was advertising lacquered gas in the free section. So we're going to go ahead and pour that and let that sit down in the crankcase for a little bit and hopefully pull any sludge out of the engine. Or at least it's sitting on the pan. Alright, so now what we did is we filled the crankcase with gasoline. Now normally I don't like doing that to clean stuff out, but in this case the oil isn't poured in from the valve cover. It has a straight shot here down to the pan, so it just sat down there at the pan and we drained it, and a whole bunch of sludge and slop came out of the bottom of the engine there, obviously. So the gasoline really did a good job of breaking it up. So I also poured a little bit of gasoline in the old oil filter and dumped out all the crap, and a lot of crap came out of there. So we're going to go ahead and put our pan plug in, put our oil filter back on, and then fill it up with some old 1040 motor oil out of the old Galaxy here, and go ahead and start up and let it run through, hopefully clean itself out, and then we'll drain that and hopefully it'll look good. And we installed an oil pressure gauge in there. Kind of hard to see, but a little gauge head in there, and we'll look at that when it's running. But so far things are going according to plan, and hopefully when we start up it's got good oil pressure. This will be the first time we've had an oil pressure gauge on it. How do you know? It's high because of the consistency. It's thick. 1040. Probably high zinc content oil. It's probably the best oil that thing's ever going to see. That's racing oil. Alright, so we're getting ready to start this thing here, and it's hootikied to the hilt right now. And here's how we hook into the battery. Got kind of a screwy terminal connection going on there. Our rigged up gas tank, and least we got some MagnaFlow exhaust. So anyway, we'll get some gas in her and get cranking. Hopefully we can get her lit off. It's about 34 degrees today, so pretty cold.
Shut the butterfly on the carburetor or put your hand over it, one of the two.
Go. Holy shit! It's got oil pressure. Got 40 pounds of oil pressure. 40. Shut it down. Shut it down. Yeah, before we start a fire. Remember how I mentioned those mechanical fuel pumps ain't no good? It's puking everywhere. Starts right up though. Yeah, it is just puking. My God. That's why the oil filter was so clean. Pull it back, idle. Sounds real good in there. It really does. The engine sounds healthy. All right, so ready? Starts right up though. Can't beat the old stuff. All right, well that's the end of the John Deere tractor for now. We got it lifted up here on blocks so we can work on our wheel bearings and kind of go through the transmission, make sure it's working good. So we got the back end off the ground so it can just go into gear and freewheel. But pretty much engine ran real good. Didn't the coolant level didn't go down. It held good oil pressure and seemed to run real well. No engine noises to speak of, and as you can see, lights right off and can hold a low idle, and the carburetor's working good, so we're in good position with it. So the next thing's the transmission and the hydraulics, but that's all for today. Worked out pretty good.